We're back. This is BVarsity Live for September 17th, week 3 of high school football. But week 4 for many teams, because a lot of teams haven't had their byes yet, though. Most teams will have finished up with their byes by the end of October the 2nd.
I think there's a few.
But there are a few in the SSL, especially where you have seven league teams. Somebody's got to be off on each one of those weeks. And same thing in the SEYL where you have 5 teams. Okay, there is one game tonight. That would be Cal City at Gabrielino of San Gabriel. And here comes Louis Amestoy to help us out with some predictions.
Oh, thank you for gracing appearance.
Now,
please walk in front of the camera.
Are you going to kick BG out of his chair, or are you going to sit next to him? That's what I want to know.
First off, BG, this is the wrong show for BG.
Yeah, Tom Mock called me, by the way. He was not happy BG was on a power hour this week.
All right, fine.
Okay. We've got a very important game up right now. Tonight's game, California City at Gabrielino. That's from your neck of the woods, isn't it?
No, Gabrielino I think is in the San Gabriel Valley, so I'm gonna pick Cal City.
I got Cal City 26-17.
I got Cal City 21-13.
All right. Who do you have in Paraclete Burroughs, by the way? That was the one game we disagreed on so far.
Paraclete.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. Next up, Riverdale at Kennedy. I'm going to say it right now. Kennedy's schedule is pathetic. But you can see why, because they weren't winning any games, so they scheduled these teams.
They were 0-48 when they made the schedule.
That they could compete with, 4-48. But yeah, that they could compete with. And now that Dennis Moody's come in and turned the program around on a dime, they're still playing these teams that they have no business playing.
Yeah, they had a running clock in the second half last
Kennedy
week.
will win big again.
Yep,
and
another running clock.
It could be a problem for the Thunderbirds. A couple of weeks they're going to play Bakersfield Christian, and all of a sudden they're going to have to not only ramp up their intensity and level of play.
But you got to look at it. Their non-league schedule is their playoff schedule.
It is. No, I get it.
SSL is not who they see in the playoffs.
But Kennedy wants to win the SSL.
No, I know.
And they have a shot at it. But not only are they going to have to up their playing level, but they're going to have to play for 4 quarters, which is going to maybe a fitness issue because they're not used to doing that. So it's going to be interesting to see, but Kennedy wins big. In the meantime, they're going to keep winning. This will be their 7th victory in a row dating back to last year, which is tied with Hanford, by the way, for the 2nd longest streak in the Valley behind Liberty Madera. All right, moving on. What's next? North at Delano. North lost a tough one out at Taft last week. Delano, you better look out. If you're Delano, got to win a game here sooner or later because the EYL is very tough, and they're already 0-3. I'm going to go with the Stars here. It's a tough place to play, but I'll tell you what. North played really, really well in another tough place to play in Taft last week and nearly won the game. I think they take out Delano tonight.
3 touchdown win for the Stars.
3 touchdown.
North.
Okay. All right. I think I would take Delano with 3 touchdowns, but I'll take North. Next up, Taft at Miramonte. Taft's 3-0. Could they get to SSL at 5-0?
Well, I think this one, I like that Miramonte opened the season with a win over Shafter, but I think this is going to be another running clock game in the 4th quarter.
Another running clock, you said?
Really?
Taft. What do you like there?
I like Taft, but I don't know about a running clock.
Yeah, I think I have pretty good faith that Miramonte can keep this thing close at home, but I got to go with the Wildcats. George Falgout going to go to 4-0 in his career at Taft. Okay, another SSL team, Arvin, hosting an old SSL team in Tehachapi. They've played every year since the early 90s, have these two teams. The last time Arvin won was 2006. It was 7-6, Arvin. I think it's going to have to be that kind of a game for Arvin to win. Tehachapi's having a little bit of trouble scoring, so if Arvin can take advantage of that, they could win a 7-6 type game, but I'm going to take Tehachapi. Let's go 27-7.
I got Tehachapi 21-7.
I like Tehachapi.
All right, moving on. West High Vikings facing the Foothill Trojans. 20 losses in a row for Foothill. Might they get off the schneid this week?
No. I think West got humbled last week at home against Chavez, and they might take it out on Foothill this week.
Yeah, West is not going to be happy. That's definitely true. Foothill has played okay the last couple of weeks, or at least 2 weeks ago against Arvin. Wasco's a tough team to play. West High can be a pretty difficult team to play, too. I like the Vikings.
Vikings.
Have you just determined to speak everything in one-word answers?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. Next, East at Highland. Good one here.
Highland.
You like Highland? I'm going to take the EB Blades, baby.
I'm going to take the Blades.
They look pretty good against North.
They're running the ball well. They're throwing the ball well. I think they're playing good defense. Yep.
Beat up on Miramonte. I got them by 2 points. I think it'll be good.
I got them by, 10? Yeah, that's a beautiful shot.
What
there.
in the world are you
Get off
doing?
of that shot, John. Nobody wants
What-
to see that.
What in the world? That's Louis Amosoy's elbow. Okay, that was East Highland. Independence is at South. Oh, no. My bad. We're going to do Golden Valley Frontier. Do we have Independence South?
Yeah, I think these are just in a different order.
All right,
than the way
okay.
we have them.
Fair enough. Golden Valley Frontier. I'm on the Frontier bandwagon right now. I am. I think they look really good against Independence. I think they could have or should have beat Ridgeview. And I think that Golden Valley cannot compete with Frontier this week. I'm going to
Frontier
go Titans.
I watched Frontier last week.
45-19. You did watch Frontier last week.
They do a lot of things really well. They run that pistol spread thing quickly. They play. I like the changes they've made. I like the personnel. They don't have any real big play for people, but
They're very
I disagree.
steady.
I think Cameron makes a decent running back.
well, they don't have like the breakaway guys they've had in the last few years, like the
Isaiah
the
Sharp
or
yeah.
the Justin Cash or even the Triton Douglas guys. But they have some really nice running backs, and they got some receivers, and Youngblood makes smart plays.
Yep.
So I really like
They're
what they're doing.
stout on defense too.
And they play
They
Golden Valley.
might, you know what? If you look at the SWAL real quick here, they might surprise a few people.
I think
Yeah,
you're right. I
I
think
do too.
I'm right there with you. I think they play Golden Valley this week. They play West next week. Not bad teams, but lower division teams. And then they finish non-league with Central. They could very easily be 4-1 going into the SWL when they open up with at Liberty and home against Bakersfield. Okay, what's next? Centennial is at Redwood. Okay, another road trip to the Visalia
You
area.
get Centennial
for
ranked higher
Centennial.
than Frontier.
I do have them ranked higher than Frontier. Do you have a problem with
I
that?
have a problem with that.
Okay. Do you think
I
they
don't
beat
have a
Redwood
problem
though?
with that.
I think they can beat Redwood. Yeah.
I think that might be partly because they just started higher and they've sort of taken care of business, but except for the loss to Clovis West, I take Centennial here, 30-14.
Yeah, and I thought we saw what Centennial can do on the road last week at Tehachapi, and they'll continue to do that again this week.
This would be their third road win. Now Redwood's pretty good for an 0-3 team. They took Tulare Union to the wire last week, so look out for Redwood too. Up next, Bakers. Are you sure we have Independence and South in here?
It's got to be in there. Yeah, it's
Okay.
next there.
Okay. All right. Bakersfield is at I want to talk about that game. Bakersfield's at Crenshaw. This is the game we disagree on too. I got Crenshaw winning 33-28, but I will freely admit I don't know what's going on with the Drillers right now.
I talked to Paul Golo this afternoon. 2 weeks off after the loss to Edison kind of allowed them to make some, fine tune. He said, Paul Golo said that he doesn't feel like the team really got exposed in any one way. They just need to tinker on a few things.
Well, it's
But they
weird
gotta-
because they lost a shootout to a really good team, and then they lost a defensive struggle to another good team. So
But
who
Edison's
are they?
got a really good defense.
Yeah.
But neither team, and I even told Paul Golo, I was bored at times with those two offenses in that game between Edison and BHS. And he goes, yeah, okay, I can see that. But it's just, I think that, you give Paul Golo 2 weeks after 2 losses, and I think it's going to turn into a win down there in
That's
LA.
a strong take. I like that take. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's going to get Crenshaw. I don't think Crenshaw's quite where they've been the last.
Were you about to
few
take
years.
Crenshaw when we first started? Did Trevor
No.
convince you? Okay.
No, I think Bakersfield's the deeper, probably stronger program right now than Crenshaw. I mean, Crenshaw again with Crenshaw, you don't know who's going to be there, going to show up, and they might be formidable. But
This is the first time I've picked against Bakersfield, by the way, since their state championship season. I picked against them against Long Beach Poly. I was actually right that week. I picked against them here, even though
it's
they
interesting. You guys bring some interesting points here about BHS, and I really think they are. Am I boring you over there? Am I boring you?
I can't just sit here and listen to you like
No,
this.
you look like you're bored.
Oh,
All
I'm
right,
intrigued.
I'm done. No, I just think that I don't feel like the last 2 seasons they've known what they wanted to do offensively. That's my feeling.
You're right, and I thought because Kiera Gregg has apparently gotten so much better throwing the ball that problem would be solved, but now they were having trouble running the ball. So who knows what's going on? We'll see if 2 weeks off if they've sort of smoothed over some of those issues. All right, up next is Independence at South. This is a good one, and South lost this game last year. They probably should have won it, and then they didn't lose again after playing this game all the way up until the playoffs. I think South gets its revenge at home. I got them 20-14.
I would probably go with you in this one, but Independence is a little bit beat up. They lack depth. That's one of their big issues.
What are they at, like 27 players?
Yeah, and they had the
It's hard
quarterback
to
was
play
hurt
like that.
last week. They lost offensive lineman or defensive lineman in that game against Frontier. But the running back, what's his name? I called his name 35 times.
Kobe Stansel.
Stansel, right? I mean, he he's going to get his yards, and he's low to bring down.
Oh.
So who are
he
you
comes
picking?
from a long line of Stancils in the Bakersfield area.
I'm going to pick Independence in a slight upset.
Ooh. All right.
I'm
Who you
going.
got, Trevor?
I'm going Rebels in this one, 35-21.
I like that. That's a strong upset bid, though. Okay, the 3 big games of the week. 2 of them are up in the Fresno area. Let's start with this one. It is Liberty at Buchanan. Again, we mentioned this in the last segment. Liberty's only played twice. They haven't played a full game with their full lineup because they were
Central really did a number on Liberty.
Yeah,
that's inexcusable.
They didn't have Matt Hubble for the entire game against Mission Viejo. They didn't have Jordan Love for the entire game against Ridgeview. Then they didn't get the game against Central because the air quality, and then they were going to play Saturday, and then Liberty said, hey, why don't you come down here and play, and Central wouldn't do it. And then Central kind of went backdoor on Liberty and scheduled a makeup game with somebody else on October 2nd.
With Buhawk Colony. Yeah, they're playing Buhawk Colony next week.
Now, Liberty didn't have a bye week that week, it should be said.
The CI should have said, sorry, no.
But Liberty's
that's unfair.
Yeah.
That's
but
totally
Liberty
unfair to
now
Liberty.
can't play a 10th game because
they're
nobody
stuck
else
with 9
that
games,
lost a game last week.
I really think they could have used a game last week, and Buchanan's got a great defense. Having said that, I think you touched on it, Trevor. I think Liberty's a little bit ticked off. I think Liberty's more talented than what they've showed. I think they were ready to show it last week. I think they do show it this week. Good game. 17-10 Liberty wins a defensive battle.
Yeah, I have it 21-20 Liberty, and I think it's going to be one of those games where I think that Brian Nixon's just going to tell those guys, listen, we got to do this, and we got to do it now.
Yeah.
Buchanan beats Liberty 141-0.
Lies.
You have very little faith in the Patriots this year. I could tell, especially after
seriously. You like Buchanan though? Buchanan's D has looked mighty impressive. It's true, and Liberty has struggled to score. That's been their issue. It's going to be a defensive ball game, so we'll see what happens. Okay, also up there. We're gonna do the game of the week second to last. Who ordered these games?
I did.
Trevor Horn. Okay, game of the week live on Bakersfield.com and ESPN Radio 1230. Bakersfield Christian at Ridgeview. Do the Eagles have a shot, Lewis?
They will score 335 points. Ridgeview will score 475 points. We'll have the greatest shootout of all times.
The game will end at 12:30 a.m.
It's 12:30 for 12 next day. Ridgeview gets the win here.
Trevor?
What?
I personally, since Trevor's obviously confused and or drugged
30
up.
seconds.
I think Ridgeview
wins.
actually is going to win this game with defense. Bakersfield Christian is going to try to put athletes in space and that sort of thing. That's what they try to do. Ridgeview has better athletes. Trouble for BCHS. Ridgeview wins. Okay, final game. Stockdale at Clovis. We know what Lexa Keene wanted to pick. She didn't quite go that far to say Stockdale can win this game against the number 1 Cougars. I don't think they can either. I do think they give Clovis a decent game, 28-16. I like where Stockdale's going. They're just not quite ready to compete with the best in the section yet.
Clovis is what Edison was last year, and that's a team
4 seconds.
that finds a way to win.
Stockdale.
But they don't do it quickly. They
like
don't do it easily. They don't do it easily, and I think that's what happens this week.
No, wait a minute. You like Stockdale?
Yep.
All right. Clovis is what Stockdale wants to be, I think. They got a good offense and a great defense. That's what Brett Shelton wants to be. We'll see if he can get there this weekend. That's Louis Amestoy, Trevor Horn over there. John Farron's our producer. Our thanks to Lexa Keene for coming in. This has been BVarsity Live.
Bye, y'all.
Looking deep down the left side, Mendeville into the end zone.